So what's going on, everyone? So this is one of my, hopefully of many uh, videos that I'm talking directly to you. I want to kind of use these videos as a way of getting my post-match thoughts, how I've overcome some of the things on court and off of court, and hopefully provide some insight to you to help you along with your journey, whether you play tennis or not. I just think some of these tips and things that I've learned can help you in your journey. But what I wanted to talk about today was building mental strength on and off court. So just some background on me. Obviously, you can see some from some of my other videos. I'm a tennis player. From the USTA scale, for those who don't know, the scale goes from 1.0 to 7, and a 7 is professional. And I started out as a 3.5, USTA 3.5, which is about an average player that maybe like a couple years of training, you kind of got some idea of what's going on. That would be like a 3.5. But so for me in my journey for the mental side of the house, when I was playing in 2018 at 3.5, I lost 9 matches in a row playing here in local leagues. And I was crushed mentally just because I felt like I had put so much time and effort into this particular task that I set and a goal I set for myself that I was losing, and I felt like I was a failure. Like, why do I even play this sport when I can't even win? And I'm trying as hard as I possibly can to overcome this challenge. So after I changed some of my mentality and how I thought about the game and how I thought about myself, I've advanced up to USTA 4.0, and I'm almost to USTA 4.5, which for having not played as a junior, as like 6-7 years old up. I started when I was 13. That's actually really impressive and a good goal I set for myself. But for talking about the mental strength side, so the first point I want to make is you have to accept the truth of your situation. So you can't sugarcoat it. You can't be like, well, especially on court. I have some strengths, but obviously, eventually I'll win if I keep trying hard enough. Sometimes that's not true. Sometimes you have to accept the truth of the fact that, hey, either you get better or you're going to lose. And if you don't want to enjoy losing, then you better find a way to overcome this challenge. And that could be with anything in life. And if you're on your own or just out of a breakup or something to that effect, accept the truth of that situation. It sucks. I get it. Like, I've been on my own after matches almost in tears because I've put so much time and effort into this match and I lost. And it could have been an embarrassing loss for me. And I'm like, okay, well, this is what it is. Either I'm going to win or I'm going to lose. One of those choices is it's going to happen. So what I did to overcome those situations was I had to find a way to win. So whatever situation you're in, whether you're lonely or trying to figure out these emotions with that, or just in general in life, you have to find a way. You have to find a strategy to win and overcome that situation. For me, on court was one, I had to adjust my tactics and my strategy. So I started doing serve and volley a lot more. I started working on my strokes, my consistency, and drilling those as difficult as that was. Being on my own with a ball machine, just hitting reps after reps after reps, trying to figure out putting myself in a match mode mentality of either I'm going to make this shot and win, or I'm going to miss this shot and lose. And that's how I thought in my mind about how to overcome that situation. So I found a way to win in the league. So I went from losing 9 matches in a row to actually having a winning record. And I think 2019 I was like 11-1, and then in 2020 I was 11-2. And in this season I think I almost went undefeated. I think I maybe had one or two losses, but and then in the 4.0 leagues I'm like 7-3, which is pretty good for especially jumping up in level. But you have to find a way to win. And as uncomfortable as that is, you have to address what your limitations are and what limitations are preventing you from overcoming preventing you from overcoming a certain goal that you have set for yourself. So for me, mentally, when I was like 4-1 up in a set, I had to think, you have to stay hungry. You cannot get complacent, because when I was losing, I might have been up, but then I almost felt like I didn't deserve it. So my opponent would come back and they would just, destroy me. So they would come back and win the match, and that to me, I felt like I was a failure because I couldn't close out the match. So, kind of like the last tip I have for building mental toughness, either on or off court, is you have to accept your losses, but don't let them control you. So, whether you're going through in life, someone breaks up with you, you get rejected, it sucks. And that's the same feeling you have when you lose a match. It's like, man, I tried so hard and everything I put everything I had out on court and I lost. And there's no getting around that. You have to accept that and be like, okay, this was the loss. But then you come back and realize, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to improve to start winning? And if it's your consistency, if it's your way you deal with people, maybe you're just very cruel to individuals because you're lashing out. Maybe you need to address that. Maybe you need to figure out a better way to interact and realize that you can pursue your goal and be competitive and not want to lose. But just because you lost doesn't mean that you have to lash out and blame your opponent. Your opponent beat you. That's whether you hit 100 in the net or they just hit winners on you. You lost. They beat you. So a lot of people say, well, I beat myself. Well, the ball has to come back at some level. Like they're going to hit the ball back. So they're that much sharper than you are and competitively in life. That person that you're trying to attract attention from or get validation from, they're probably going to reject you and beat you. And sitting with those emotions, that's not easy to do, but you need to do it alone. You can't just call somebody and you can, maybe have a trusted confidant. You can say, hey, here's my plan, but you have to take those emotions and realize, okay, this is the truth. As difficult, as painful as this is reality. And now what can I do to overcome that reality? And I can tell you from firsthand experience of going back on my own, getting a journal, finding the things I didn't like about myself on court, and figuring out the ways I needed to improve. That's what made the difference for me. And overcoming those limitations is the greatest validation you could possibly get. No one else external to your experience is going to be able to give that to you, because your opponent in life is going to make it as difficult as possible for you to win. That's just what it is, and that's just how reality works. But if you can find a way to be competitive with that challenge, whatever your goal is you've set for yourself, and say, here are the factors that are preventing me from achieving this goal. And I am a big believer, and I teach people this too, 90% of it is up here. It's mentality of whether or not you're going to accept loss and kind of be like, woe is me, and like I'm not good enough, or are you going to find a way to overcome that? So just some thoughts I wanted to put out there. Hopefully you got some insight from this, and catch you on the next one.